Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 22 of my Create This Book 2 series by me and Moriah Elizabeth. I have 3 prompts to do today, which I am very excited about. Before I begin, be sure to like and subscribe, and let's see what I can come up with for today. I put a lot of effort into all 3 of these prompts, so I'm very excited to share them with you guys. The first prompt of the day is to create a pastel page. So I decided that watercolors would be the perfect option for this prompt because you can make them as light or as dark as you want. I did a little test strip to see how pigmented these were, and that is pretty pigmented. We don't want that. We want this. So that's what I'm going for, trying to make a washed out watercolored color. I tried to do it directly into the book, but then I found out I would need to cut my own watercolor paper, so that's what I did, and I put that into the book. That way I wouldn't ruin the pages with the watercolors. It just was not going to work on this paper, but that's okay. I just put these into the book instead, and now I can get started making all of the watercolors on top of this paper. I tried to keep them all as light as possible and keep in that pastel color range. I didn't want anything too vibrant or too pigmented because I wanted it to fit perfectly within the prompt. I decided to make a whole bunch of different strips of colors, and I kind of just did whatever color I felt like in the moment. Nothing too crazy or insane or planned out, just kind of went with it one at a time and created all of these different color swatches. I kind of went a little overboard there, but I was able to blend it out, and here's how it looks. You can't really tell that well, but it's a little shimmery and it looks really pretty, and they're all the perfect pastel color. So now to complete the prompt, I decided to draw with a pen a whole bunch of different plant life in each of the squares or each of the rectangles. That way it would have a design in each one, and this was really fun. It added just the touch that it needed for the whole thing to come together, and I think it looks really pretty in the end. I just kind of went with whatever came to mind, and again, didn't really plan anything out. Just wanted to draw a whole bunch of different plants and wild plant life on the pages just to make it fun. Some of the watercolors were more hard to draw on than other ones, and I'm not really sure why that is, but the purple one was like really chalky, so that one was hard to draw on, but the rest of them were pretty smooth and okay, and took the pen pretty well. Here's the design, and here's how it came out with. I decided to do bigger squares on the bottom of different things like a flower and a big leaf, and here's how it all came out. I think this page is really pretty, and I like it a lot. I kind of wish I didn't test the watercolor in such a, conspicuous area there, but that's okay. It still looks really good. And now it's time for the next prompt, which is to create a series. And I had to cut paper for this one too. That way I could have a whole bunch of little mini pieces of paper to create on and create a series of art on. I got my pencil to sketch out, and I don't know why, but the first thing that came to my head with this was to create a series of little shark drawings. So, I ran with it and said, why not? Let's create a whole bunch of little shark drawings. So I drew out the first shark, it swam away, and now it's time to draw it again. And I was thinking about this. They're all different sharks, but they're all named Bruce, and I guess that's from Nemo, but that's just what sharks are named. So here I am drawing another Bruce, another version of him, and this one is looking to the side like that, and now it's time for the last one, which I decided to go ahead and do a pretty ambitious one, which is a shark with its mouth wide open. It's honestly kind of scary, but that's what I decided to go with. Here are the 4 sketches, and now it's time to color them in with my favorite art supplies, well, one of them, which is Ohuhu markers. Here's all of the colors that I have. I have about 40 of them mixed in with a whole bunch of different kind of markers and liners and stuff, but here they are, and I decided to do the sharks different colors. The first one I want to stick with a more purpley blue color, and the first thing I'm going to do is outline the whole thing with this black micro microliner, and this one worked really well for this, and I also added in some little hatching designs and sketches. That way there were some markings in it already for the marker to just kind of add the final touches. I erased the pencil, and now it is time to go in with the first color, which is this purple, and then I blended it out with a darker color just to add in some depth. I decided to add in some gray details everywhere just to kind of make it smooth, and here is how the first one came out, the first Bruce. Here is the second shark. I decided to do more purple of this one, and this one's going to be pretty straightforward purple. And so the first step again was to outline everything, erase the pencil, and get started on that color. This purple is pretty purple, but I decided it didn't have to be so realistic. They're just little shark doodles. So then I added in the gray, and this one was done as well. Now it is time for the third one, which is kind of a frontal view of the shark, which was very hard to draw. But then I went ahead and repeated the whole process again, and this time I decided on darker blues for this shark, and then I added in my grays, and this one was complete as well. His teeth are kind of funny, but that's okay. And now it is time for the last shark, which I then went ahead and outlined and repeated the process as well with this one. For this shark, I decided to go with a more realistic type of color palette and chose some light blues to go ahead and draw everything in, but I started with the mouth, which was fun because it added a bit more color in. I colored in everything in the mouth red and then went ahead in with some grays just to kind of mute everything down so it wasn't as vibrant and shocking and scary looking. Then I colored in the lips pink, and I kind of felt like it looked like lipstick, so I asked my husband, "Does it look like the shark's wearing lipstick?"
What are you saying?
And he nicely said yes, that it does. So I decided to tone down that pink with a gray, and then I went ahead and colored in the shark with that light blue color I was talking about before, and then I blended everything out with that same color again after I added in some dark colors. Here are all of the sharks, and they look pretty awesome, I think, and I love seeing them all together. Now it is time to add them into the book, and here is how they all turned out. I think this is a pretty cool page, and a little bit scary, but just a lot of fun as well. And it was a lot of fun to challenge myself to draw all of these different sharks, all of these different Bruces, and all of these different poses and colors. It was a lot of fun, and it turned out to be quite a cool series of pictures. Now it is time for the final prompt of the day, which is to create a shock. So I'm supposed to do something unexpected, something I wouldn't normally do in art. So I decided to go ahead and draw out this character. I don't normally draw that many characters, I don't normally do fan art, and I don't normally do some of the techniques that I use in this drawing, but I decided to try and challenge myself. I just recently watched this Monster High movie on Netflix called Electrified, so if you guys have Netflix and want to check it out, there you go. But it was a lot of fun to watch. My sister was big into Monster High, and I kind of was past that when I was growing up, but I still have a lot of fun just to watch the shows and stuff, and just kind of those fun, harmless little kid shows that bring you back to when you were younger, and it was just really fun to watch. So in this movie, this character, Frankie Stein, gets electrocuted, okay, which sounds a little crazy for a kid's show, but if you watch it, you'll kind of understand more of the premise. But anyway, that scene kind of stuck out to me, and it was a shocking scene. Like, literally, do you get where I'm going with that? So I decided to incorporate this scene into this drawing that I'm doing, and this is kind of a fun, different twist for art for me, because I don't normally do fan art and stuff, and I kind of made it a little bit more my style. It kind of looks a little Tim Burton-esque in a way, if you know what I'm saying, but this one was really fun to do and really fun to draw, and it was quite challenging to match a character. This is also something different for me. I don't normally color in the backgrounds of my art, but I decided to color in the whole background and add in all of these details. I also really struggle with drawing lightning, so this was also a challenge. But this is how the page turned out, and it turned out to be one of my favorite pages from this whole thing, and I love it so much. I think it turned out really cool and is literally quite shocking. So this one was a lot of fun. Let's take a look at at the first page again, which was this pastel page, which came out so beautiful and so pretty. I seriously love all 3 of these prompts so much. It is my favorite episode that I have ever created, I think, because I love all of these pages individually so much and think they all turned out so cool. So here's the first one, and here is the second one again, where I created all of these different versions of Bruce the shark. Here he is, blue, mouth open. Here he is front facing. We've got him to the side. We've got him in purple. All of these different types of sharks, and this was a really fun series that kind of came out of nowhere, but was a lot of fun to do. Here is the final prompt one more time, where we created a literal shock, and this one was a lot of fun to make and probably came out to be my favorite just because it is so visually awesome with all of the contrasting colors and all of the different things going on. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know which one was your favorite because I would love to know. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!